all yours, Michelle. You'll unmute yourself and we'll hear you too.
Good morning, everyone. It's Monday, October 25th, and you are joining us for our Monday morning community roundtable chat. And Robin and Gregory are joining us from beautiful sunny Scottsdale, Arizona, where they did a wonderful meeting on Saturday, and they're going to be there for another week for a couple more meetings. And for those of you who are new to our community, share our experiences, our testimonials, and any questions we may have, because we have a lot of wisdom and experience in this community. My name is Michelle Niels, and I share in the hosting of these Monday morning chats with Karen O'Neill. And there she is. Speak of the beauty. Hello, Karen.
Hello.
And Karen would normally be doing today, but we did a little trade. So you'll be seeing us usually alternating Mondays. So the purpose of this call, as I said, is to share our stories, our testimonials, and ask questions. And just a little disclaimer, we always start with all of our calls with, and that is that the LifeWave products do not heal, diagnose, treat, prevent any disease or disease condition. So we need to be very careful and stay compliant so we can be in business for many, many, many more years. And so how we do that is when we talk about what's going on for us, we stay away from disease names. So for example, you might say a blood sugar issue for a particular condition. So we stay away from disease names and just state the symptoms and then what patches you used and how you feel now. So I'm going to start with a very short one, and that is that I had some dental surgery, and many of us in our age group, the baby boomers, we are dealing with dental stuff. And I had an implant exactly 2 weeks ago, and it was amazing. It was the periodontist, when he was drilling a hole in my bone, he kept saying over and over, "Your bone is so strong. Your bone is so strong." And he's a big guy, and he's like pushing this drill, and he was like practically shaking to make a hole, which didn't feel great to me. My whole head was vibrating, but I think that there's something to, of course, having the healthy lifestyle, but I know the patches have helped my bone density. I've been hearing about that with the X39. And also I was prescribed a very heavy duty pain medication, which I did go ahead and fill the prescription for. And I did not use one of those Vicodin. I ended up taking 1 dose of ibuprofen, and then I put the Eon patch on immediately after the procedure, right on the spot on my cheek. And then that night I put the Ice Wave, the tan on the place where the surgery was, and the white on the other side. And I woke up the next morning and there was barely a ripple. And by 24 hours or 48 hours later, I was completely fine, and it's healing beautifully. So there's my little dental healing story. And I'm going to open it up. And remember, oh, Yolanda, are you trying to raise your hand? Okay, I saw you. I saw the wave. Go ahead and unmute yourself, and then you can share.
Hi, I finally got in to share for one of these meetings. Great, that's wonderful.
Yay!
Yay, first time sharing. I just had a recent fall off of my bike yesterday. That's how recent it is. And so I'm pretty new at this, but here's what I did. Okay, so I wrapped it up last night, cleaned it up. I put immediately after the fall, I put one of the patches, the one here, and then whenever the little pain went away. Anyway, I woke up with no pain. This morning, I didn't have any pain.
No pain.
After I patched, I didn't feel any pain at all. So, I was good today, because, the next day is to really feel it, right? And I woke up, I put the wrap like this so that it doesn't scrape against the sheets and everything else, and I wanted to keep, but my question is, should I take this off throughout the day and let it breathe and put, what else can I put on? I have the, what did I have? Ice wave. I did the ice wave for the pain. But, and then I have my regular one, X39 back here on my back. And what else can I do?
So
Yeah, I'm
Yolanda,
feeling great.
I want to make sure that's wonderful. You're already feeling better after an accident just yesterday. So did you fall on your knee? I couldn't really
Yes,
hear you very well.
yes, I fell on
Did
my
you fall
knee.
on?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
my knee.
Okay. And you're using Ice Wave and, oh, I see it. Yep, I see the tan patch. What was your question about the breathing? Is something about the patch you're concerned about?
No,
What?
I covered it up. Should I uncover it to let it breathe? To let the wound breathe or heal.
It sounds
so
like
that
a
it
good,
can heal.
sounds like a good idea. I mean, yes, I think unless it's oozing and stuff, you probably would be good to have some time with it exposed to the air. But I would say besides the X39 and the Ice Wave, you might want to try Eon, because do you have any Eon patches?
I'm not sure if that's the one that's coming. I think I reordered the X39. I have glutathione and Ice Wave. No, I don't have a, that'll be the next one then. What does that one do? That's
You're doing, you've got the granddaddy of them all with X39. Okay. So you can rest assured that you are doing and Ice Wave is excellent for pain. So the X39 helps with wound healing and repair and regeneration, and it can even have some pain relief benefits. So
okay.
I'm
This is
glad
month.
you're
So
month
hopefully-
2.
yes.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Yolanda. And the glutathione is good for it's really good for detoxing the body, but sometimes it can be used for pain as well. So experiment and come and tell us how it goes. Thanks, Yolanda.
Thank you guys for all you do. Thanks.
Oh, you're welcome. Welcome to our community. I'm glad you got to share. Okay, Stacey, you're up. Do you want to unmute?
Can you hear me? Okay, I just did. Okay. So Saturday, this weekend, I was in Charleston, with all my family. It was my daughter's birthday, and we went roller skating. So I am a grandma. Okay, I won't tell you my age, but I am a grandma. So anyway, I did put an X39 on and an Eon, just in case. Like, I could do this. I used to be a beast at roller skating, right? So we went, and I was helping my 2.5-year-old granddaughter. So everything was going good. And then, of course, me bending down, my back started hurting. So I had one other family member kind of switch out with me. So I was roller skating. I was doing good. And just the past came back. I'm like, I can do this. This is awesome. So I did a turn, and I went backwards. I did great. Yay. So I'm like, I could do this again. So I did it again, and I fell. So I fell more on my right side, but both my wrists, my hand, of course, the jolt hurt my wrist, especially my right one. So I was kind of like shaking it off my daughter-in-law. She goes, "Are you okay?" I'm like, I'm okay. So as I'm skating, I'm like, this is really hurting. So I found my husband. He said, he saw it. He said, "Are you okay?" I'm like, no, I'm not. So I got to the wall, and I had the Eon underneath my belly button. So I kind of like just got it off my belly, underneath my belly button, and I put it on my right where, I mean, I was bruising. The blood vessels were all blue, just like sticking up, and it was so painful. So of course I didn't have a stick. It wasn't, the adhesive wasn't sticking. So I asked my daughter-in-law if she had a Band-Aid. She did. So I was able to have it adhere with the Band-Aid. And the pain, like probably within 30 seconds, mostly went away. So I was so happy about that. So I was like, okay, I can continue to skate. So I was skating for a little bit. I'm like, no, I am just in a lot of pain. So I went and sat down with everybody, and they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, yeah, I'll be okay. So I decided to get up. I wanted some water. I got up, boom, fell again. This time mostly on my left side. So I really hurt my left wrist because then it went back like this. So I'm like, all right, I'm done. I am done. I took the skates off. We got back to my daughter's house probably like an hour later. I was in so much pain. So I got me another X39. I didn't take the one off my C7, put it on top of my left, kind of down from the pinky, and then put some, actually an ice patch on. I put the ice waves on my back because my back was hurting. I was a mess, everybody. So I just kept getting more purple and all that. So took the patches off that night because I had already had everything on for, you know, a little over 12 hours because I wanted to put fresh ones on yesterday. So I put an Eon back on my right wrist yesterday morning and then an X39 on my left wrist. And it was helping. And then this morning I swapped it. I put the X39 on my right wrist, actually below where the bruising is, because washing my hands, it was really getting to the patch. And then the Eon on my left. So I swapped them from yesterday. And I'm feeling so much better today. And I was really concerned because we're moving this week and I need to be able to use my hands. I can't move with my feet. But anyway, just thankful for these patches. And I can't praise what David Schmidt has, you know, done. And you know, I know he prays about these, and I just really believe, I just know that they work. So that's my story.
Thank you, Stacey, wild roller skating woman.
My mind says I could do this. I could do anything.
Oh, that's beautiful. Well, that's something that also happens with the use of the patches, is we notice our attitude, our mental state, our feeling of well-being improve. So why wouldn't you try roller skating? I mean, yeah,
it was my
marathons.
Why not?
Why not? Oh, thanks, Stacey. Thank you. Well, who is next to share with our wonderful community? Does anyone have a story, even one that you might have shared before? That's fine, because a lot of people may not have heard your story. Or if you have a question, please unmute. Okay, everyone
Me again?
quiet.
I'm new to this. I don't know. Oops.
Oh, okay.
Who's speaking?
This is Paula.
Paula. Hi, Paula.
I signed up it probably took about a week to get my product. So I probably signed up 2 weeks ago and I received it over the weekend, and Kathleen invited me to come here, Kathleen Hoffmeister. And I told her my story and she said, can I share it? So I just may as well share it with this group too. I received my product on Friday. And then on Saturday, I didn't get to read the instructions yet. So finally, I just called her and I said, what do I do? Around 2:00. And she said, you know, put the patches on, how to use them, the left and the right. And I have periodic pain in my right hip. And through x-rays and medical visits, they were not able to really find out what it was. It's not arthritis, but it is a severe pain in my hip. So it has to be related to muscles or something. And anyway, I also believe in stem cells. I've been researching them for many years, and I know a lot more about them than some of my mom's doctors, to put it that way. So when I saw the X39, that's what got me excited. And the possibilities, it's a slower way of activating your stem cells without getting injections, which can be awesome and a super boost. But I figured this is a long-term, more affordable way for everyone to approach stem cells so that you can rejuvenate. Sorry, that's my little puppy squeaking her toy in the background. Rejuvenate your stem cells. And so I ordered the X39, the ice wave for my mom because she's 90, as well as the stem cells, and my husband, and the energy, because I have been lacking energy for the last, year. I think I've been on a real slog of exhaustion, fighting exhaustion. And I don't believe, for me personally, I don't go to the doctor. It's one of those things I just don't do. And I will manage my own issues. And that's why I know so much about health, but dealing with my exhaustion has been difficult. So I made some major lifestyle changes this year, but I'm still waking up often with sheer exhaustion. After sleeping, after doing exercising, I eat broccoli. I think it's the most amazing food in the world. And as it turns out, broccoli will also help boost your stem cells. I just read that last week. I couldn't believe I found that. But I woke up and I had exhaustion for a couple of days, and it's not tiredness, it's exhaustion. Like when you wake up and you feel like you just ran a marathon and you hadn't slept 5 hours, and I had slept, 10 hours, and I couldn't seem to get enough. And that happens periodically. So ultimately, I left my job this year. My husband and I made some major changes to give me some space to heal, and I'm healing, but I still have many bouts with sheer exhaustion. So I got my package Friday. Saturday, I opened it up. At 2:00, I called Kathleen and said, how do I do this? I'm going to get started now, even though it's late in the day. And I put on the X39 on the back of my neck. I put the Ice Wave on my right hip. And then I put the energy by my armpits, in front of your armpits, where they show one of the places to put them. And I was surprised, I was expecting good results for X39 over time. And then the way I want to share this with people to get immediate results would be Ice Wave, which I don't always have pain, but I happened to that day on my right hip. But the energy was a big one for me also. And I noticed small changes. And what I noticed is that I went within a few minutes, which was very surprising because I've tried every energy drink you can imagine. Within a few minutes, I went from exhaustion to normal. And I stayed normal for an entire day until 10 o'clock that night. So that's for 8 hours. I went from exhaustion within, I'd say within 20 minutes. I went to normal, and I stayed normal until 10 p.m. when I took the energy ones off, and I went straight back to exhaustion. And I thought, that is profound. And I never felt a trigger. I never felt a jump. I didn't feel high energy or anything where my heart was racing. I just felt normal, and it felt really good to feel normal again. And then at 10 p.m., I took them off, and I went back to exhaustion and went to bed. As for the pain in my hip, that lessened very quickly. I'd say within 40 minutes, it was lessened. And at some point during the day, the pain in my hip disappeared. So that was significant because I noticed, in the beginning, I'm like, well, we'll see what works with this. And then I realized that I had a small ache in my back, but the pain in my hip had been so much that I didn't even, I didn't pay attention to my back. So then the pain in my hip disappeared, and I took the patches and I put them on my back. And that lasted through, I still don't have pain in my hip right now. So that's good. I don't have it every day, but it made whatever was happening disappear to the point that now I don't have pain in my hip even today. And I didn't wear any patches yesterday because I had started 2 p.m. On Saturday, and I finished on Saturday night. So I just kind of let myself take a break. And then I had the stem cell patch on the back of my neck. And one of the things I noticed, every day I have to get up and stretch. I sat at a computer job for the last 15 years. And every day I'd have to get up and do a lot of yoga type stretches, more ballerina type stretches, and take some vitamins before I could get my neck and back to adjust correctly. And when I woke up on Sunday morning, everything just started adjusting. And I was like, oh, I didn't do my full routine. So I'm assuming that that's the X39. I don't want to read too much into it, but I tend to give credit where credit is due. And that's a very unusual thing. So I saw results in the energy, significant. I saw results with the pain. And it's potentially, I'll see over time, if that X39 is what made my neck and back adjust without having to do a lot of stretches and vitamins. I think it probably does, because I know how stem cells work. So there you go.
Paula, it sounds like you've really done your homework on stem cells, and that there's a lot to unpack in your story, and it's very exciting. And I want to encourage you, if you're a member of Vibrant Living, to please share that story on Vibrant Living. Are you familiar with Vibrant Living?
Since I just joined fairly new, there's so much information I'm trying to figure out about LifeWave. So Kathy may have told me, she probably did, but I'm just starting to get into the routine of some of the calls. And I'll let her tell me about Vibrant Living.
Okay, thank you so much, Paula. There's lots of comments in the chat. Thank you for the wonderful share. And I just want to say one thing, because there's other people with hands up. I'm just going to make a quick comment that the patches, what's so beautiful about them is that they do not push the body. And so it's homeostasis. It helps your body return to homeostasis and balance. So it sounds like that's what happened for you with your tiredness, your exhaustion, and several other things you had going on. And the patches don't force anything. And the beautiful thing about them is if you're having an uncomfortable response, you can take them off and then try again later, a few hours later, the next day. Unlike a drug or even an herbal preparation, once it's in the body, it's in the body. You have to wait for it to leave the body. So
I
what
did
a
have a
wonderful
question
share.
about them, about the stem cell patches. And I'm sorry, I came late, so I don't know what your training is. If it's business or if it's the technical scientific part of it. But I had a question about the attrition value, right? Because everything has an attrition value. So when they talk about leaving it on for 12 hours and then throwing it away, I'm wondering, is there a certain amount of attrition per use? And if it's not consecutive, and if you did leave it longer, is there a certain percentage that it loses its effectiveness over time? Or I'm not sure exactly of that. So there were some technical scientific issues that I gave to Kathleen that's the kind of the industry I worked in. So I was wondering if anyone has answers for that.
Okay, so Paula, I'll be very brief because we're getting to the bottom of our half an hour, and I see Darlene has a question, and then there's gonna be some announcements, but I will say two things. First, I'm gonna point you to the chat we did on the first Monday in October. I think it might've been the first, I'm not positive, but we talked a lot about the patches and for newbies, the attrition or how they wear out and how you can reuse them and or not. And basically the short answer is that the patch is guaranteed to work for 12 hours, and it may work longer because it's like a battery and every person's body is like an appliance. So everyone draws from the patch a little bit differently. So yes, you can often get a little bit more use out of it. But if you refer to that Live Younger chat in our Live Younger YouTube channel, go to liveyoungeryoutube.com. And it was the very first Monday in October. And we talked a lot about that. So,
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Darlene, and then I'm going to turn it over to Robin and Gregory. So Darlene, please.
Hi. We went on a road trip. On Thursday, we drove 7 hours. On Friday, we drove 7 hours. And yesterday, we drove 14 hours coming straight home. And we are both in our 70s, and we didn't have issues. I, for many, many years, have had a lot of back problems, and my husband's had some back problems, but we were able to be in the car that long and still feel fine at the end of the day. And we didn't know if we'd be able to make it home all in one day yesterday, but we did. And it was not that hard. It used to be just a couple of hours sitting in the car, and I couldn't stand sitting there. And to be able to stay that long in the car and still feel okay was amazing.
That is big, Darlene. Yes, that's huge. And were there specific patches you wore while you were in the car, or just your kind
X39. X39 is basically what we wore.
Yep.
Well,
you're not in your 70s. You're not in your 70s anymore, Darlene, because you've been using X39 for a while. You're a lot younger.
Yeah, I asked if he thought we should put energy on coming home. Did he think we needed some extra energy? And he says, no, let's just go with X39.
That's wonderful. A lot of people are going to be taking trips in the car. So that's really good to know. Thank you, everyone. This has been a great, great share. And in our last few minutes, I'm going to turn it over to Gregory and Robin, and they're going to speak about the call tonight. We have a Live Younger Zoom this evening. It's our community call. So Robin and Gregory, over to you.
Great.
Oops, you're muted.
Okay, we had to clear our throats, that's
There you
why.
go. There you go.
Good morning, everyone.
Well,
Good morning.
we had an amazing event. It was standing room only. And we got to meet Lori Berger for the first time, and Emily was there, and Kay and Connie and Gregory did an incredible job on the planning of this event. It went smoothly. Everyone was happy. We got lots of new people. We had several other groups there. There's some leaders in this area that are going to work with Kay and Connie and absolutely explode Arizona. So exciting times here. And meeting Lori Berger was a gift. She's going to be on our call next week, so everybody can meet her. She's the new Chief Marketing Officer. She's very methodical. She has a technology background. She's all about the experience that we all have, whether it's consumers or distributors. So you're going to see fabulous things happening because of this amazing woman. So she's in this area until her daughter finishes high school and then moving to Utah. It was really, really wonderful to be with her. And we have a special treat for tonight.
Well, I just want to again thank Kay and Connie for all the hard work, for all the pre-meeting work that we did together. And we had, as Robin said, standing room only. We had over 80 people, and there is some discussion about potentially starting a monthly meeting here in the greater Phoenix area because there's enough momentum growing. This was kind of, we called it our coming out meeting, our Arizona coming out meeting, because we haven't been doing physical meetings for a year and a half, 2 years now. So very excited about that. And so for the event, I developed a new little short training. Some of you that caught the tail end on Saturday might have seen it over the Zoom, and I apologize if Zoom didn't come across as good as it could or should. We're going to get better every time with it. We keep learning lessons. But I developed this short little presentation on the 7 success secrets for successful networking. And we're going to share that with you tonight. So if you want to learn my 7 success secrets, you better be on the 6 o'clock East Pacific call with us tonight. We'll be sharing that, and we'll have some other news and information to share with you also. But we're just so grateful. I feel like the company is coming together. The staff is coming together. Oh, and by the way, our dear friend, Miss Emily Hollingshead, who was our director of sales, got a promotion. She's now the vice president of North American Distributor Relations. So she's the first vice president and only vice president in the company. And she's so excited. She was in tears, when it was announced. And so it's very beautiful because she works so hard. She gives so much to all of us. And so the company is growing and we're growing with them.
Ask if Kay wants to say anything.
Kay, did you have anything you wanted to share briefly about the weekend? I see that you're on there with us. If you want to unmute for a moment and just say anything. And I know that you're probably on the way out the door to aerobics, water aerobics.
No, actually, I don't do that down here.
That's right. Okay.
I just want to say thank you to everyone who participated, who had prospects come. I know in my group, every single guest signed up. And at one level or another, one even at diamond, one at gold, and so on. So a big thank you to Robin and Gregory, because their participation and what they taught us, I think, led to a lot of this success. And thank you so much for coming down to our beautiful state. And I just wish everyone the best, because if you start doing meetings, you can't stop this train. It's leaving the station and going fast.
Yay. And
Yeah.
it was so wonderful to meet you in person, Kay. I loved it. And to meet Don too. Now he's a funny one. We loved it, his sense of humor. It was great. We're going to get to spend more time with Kay and Don, and Dr. Nicholas was there. He did an amazing job. We, had someone with pain cup to the front of the room, and, she got wowed, and so did the whole group. And that is a great way to, incorporate early in a meeting, because it proves the technology. And I also want to do a major shout out to Connie, who took us in for 2 nights, and we got to be at her home and be with her family and her friends and some other distributors. Paul and Valerie were there from Texas. We had people from Texas, from Florida, from who else flew in? So it was wonderful. The energy was great. And Barry, who's Connie's husband, was in the back of the room, and he's like a barometer. And he said, I was just, the buzz in that room on the breaks was amazing. The attention people were giving, and it was standing room only. So that just makes it really, really fun. And it went really smoothly because of all of the great planning from, Kay and Connie and Gregory. And I just got to show up. That was fun.
And
And
let's
I just
remind
wanna- Go ahead.
let's remind everyone that we have Prescott, Arizona on Wednesday night at 6:30 and Sedona, Arizona, which is only 45 minutes from Flagstaff. So if you know anyone in Flagstaff or Sedona, that is Thursday night at 6:30. And just let us know if you need that flyer or any information on that.
Beautiful. And I just wanted to shout out to, I think it was Paula who gave that amazing first day testimonial. Congratulations. What a great first day on the products. I mean, that's so awesome. And it only gets better in time. So back to you, Michelle.
All right. Thank you, Robin and Gregory. And oh my gosh, I wish I could have been there. Phoenix and Scottsdale are my old stomping grounds. So I'm glad you're having such a wonderful, successful trip there. So tonight we hope to see, or not see, because it's not the same format, but we hope a lot of you will join us for the chat or the Zoom this evening, the community Zoom. And if everyone wants to unmute, we can say goodbye. And thank you all so much for participating and bringing your love and your desire to be of service to your fellow man. We have such an amazing product. Thank you.
I took off
Thank you.
my
Appreciate your
band-aid.
support.
Thanks,
Have a
Michelle.
good
You're amazing.
Have a good one. See you tonight.
Have a great day, everyone.
There's
Bye,
my
everybody.
band-aid.
Have a great day.
All right,
Put
take
on
care.
my band-aid. Look at
Bye-bye.
there.
Thanks,
Bye.
Michelle. Thanks, Robin.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye.
Oh
Gregory.
my God, that I haven't really been watching it, and I should be, but yeah.